Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly talk show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, St. Kitts and Nevis. Good evening, Leeward Islands. Good evening, OECS. Good evening, Caribbean. Hey, good evening to the entire world. How are you doing? Welcome to another edition of On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. I am Troy Bif Mills from SP with the Best Be, Hub City, Hub. It is my privilege and pleasure to be here with you this evening. Yet another time, give thanks to the Almighty for strength and everything to make it possible for us to be bringing On the Ball to you. Tonight we have a packed program. We have 3 sets of guests. Yes, 1, 2, 3. Our first guest is on the studio, and we must apologize for getting out of the blocks a little slow tonight, a little late. We do sincerely apologize for that, and nonetheless, I'm hoping the producer will give us some time at the back end. To those who are celebrating birthdays today, happy birthday to you. To those who are celebrating anniversaries, happy anniversary to you. If you achieve something noteworthy today, a new hairstyle, new fingernails, new toenails, I don't know, a baby, a new boyfriend, a new girlfriend, a new trans, a new job, a promotion, congratulations, well done. And to those who are going through a period of bereavement, that's one of the parts of life we don't ever get an opportunity, or we don't seem to be comforted with easy. We know that death is a part of life, and in cases where we know persons are going, when they are gone, it still hits us hard because we know we're not going to see them again. So if you are going through a period of bereavement, we say condolences on behalf of management, staff, and Board of Directors of WINN FM 98.9 on behalf of the Sports Department and On the Ball Show, and yours truly. And readily, 2 families are coming to mind. The Freeman's family originally out of St. Paul, now living in Sadlers. The late Urban Egbert Freeman, he was laid to rest late last month. He was coach at the St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association, one of our senior coaches. So we say condolences to his family. Over years in table tennis. There's the mother, the wife, Amelia Freeman. She was once the Secretary General of the SKNTTA. She's now currently an executive member his son, Andre Freeman, his daughter, Angelisa Freeman, both national players from the age category, come up. And we say condolences to them and the family of the late Nevis Waldo Queely. He worked at the sports department like for forever. Was it 37 years, I think it is, from since 1980-something? 80-something to now is, yes, 30-something or 40-something years. But quite a long time. Condolences to him. Wayne P., the soca artist, he was Wayne P.'s father, and he has a daughter, Cherise, who currently works at the sports department. So congratulations to those. If you celebrated a birthday between last week, Wednesday, and yesterday, happy belated birthday and happy belated anniversary. If you are celebrating a birthday between tomorrow, God's Spear, and next week, Monday, happy birthday in advance. Similarly for the anniversaries, happy anniversary in advance. Forgive me, I didn't say good morning or good afternoon to those persons somewhere out there where it is still morning, where it is still afternoon. And in some countries, today is yesterday, while in others, today is tomorrow. It sounds confusing. It's just that because of the time zones. Today is still the 9th of February, Monday the 9th, and in some countries, today is the 10th, or the 11th, Wednesday the 11th. But we're out of the blocks. Boy, I tell people, this year going to fly by poof, you know. January gone, poof, poof. And we already 10th, nearly half of February gone, the shortest month in the year. But enough chat when you don't really want to hear me. You come to hear what we are talking about tonight. And we have in the studio a man who created history. Well, not in and of himself, but he created history with the entity he was working with. And hey, I ain't going to tell you a thing about him. I'm going to go to him and let him tell you about him. Good evening, WINN FM 98.9. Welcome to On the Ball. You're no stranger. You've been here before. How are you doing, sir?
Good evening to your audience, Mr. Mills. Good evening to the producer.
Raspy, Tough House Sounds.
For whatever reason, I am here to discuss cricket. I'm hoping that is what you call me here for.
Yes, of course it is. And I'll be more specific. Female cricket.
Female cricket.
And I could be even a little more specific. Leeward Islands female cricket team.
Well, that even now it's down to the specific. But generally, you mentioned that we came out of the block late. In cricket, there are reasons why we come out of the block late. You being an umpire would be ideally in the position to say that you have inspected the wicket and you realize that they are so wet
spots.
And so the delay the start of the inning. Hence, you have further inspected and decided that play will continue. Would start. And so I am here starting opening the inning. And thanks again for the opportunity to come here. But as much as I want to talk about the specific of the Leeward Islands female triumph in the just concluded CWI Regional Senior Women T20 Blaze in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I want to echo the sentiment before I forget during my deliberation, the importance of us understanding the connection between sports and education. I think we are missing that. And so often in our society, I believe it's culture that we are not gravitating to sports from a parent perspective. We feel that it is all about education, but from my experience, there is a connection between both. Being a coach, player, administrator to some extent. And so I want to emphasize the need for us to understand that there is a relation between the sports, whatever the sport is, and education. But let me speak to the specific of the T20 Blaze. We did the amazing feat of being the first team to have completed victory in all the preliminary games and also in the finals of that T20 Blaze since its inception. We were a late comer to that competition. We started in 2016. The competition started, I'm not certain the years before, but we were a late comer. And we continued, for several years. And this year we, for want of a better word, we decided that, that's enough is enough. And we believe that we can not only win matches, but win the tournament. The T20 Blaze, based on the composition of our team, for some reason, I think we prefer, the ladies prefer the T20 Blaze because it's quick, fast, and you get rest. But we are still struggling with the 50 over format, and that is an area now that we as the coaches and administrators have to find a way to get our players to mentally recalibrate, switch from one format to the next. As a matter of fact, the coaches have suggested to the administration that rather than having the tournament as it was in St. Vincent, where you play the T20 Blaze and then the Super 50, that there's a break between each tournament. And it was done last year. And I understand the reason for the two tournaments playing back-to-back this year. But there's a reason to have the separation. And I think having won the tournament and won it convincingly, for whatever reason, I thought that our players, went and sat back. I think almost forgetting that we had to play another tournament, because the whole mindset, the body language of the players didn't give that impression to my mind that we were ideally tuned in mentally to participate in a competitive way in the 50 over. But Mr. Mills, I want to give credit to the leadership. The leadership was on par throughout the tournament, and I think that credit must be given to her, having been leading for a couple of years now. It was an area of concern from the administration, the staff, the management staff, particularly the coaching staff, as it relates to the leadership. Sometimes there are moments when she is in the game, and then sometimes she lapses, and the lapse oftentimes causes us, when we are at a stage of almost seem like we are winning, and that lapse creates the lull and gives the opposition momentum, and there are times when we lost games because of that. But this year she was remarkable, exceptional. I think her leadership must be mentioned as it relates to the victory. The change of bowling, setting up the field under pressure at times, and she managed to withstand the pressure and marshal the forces, her girls in a professional manner, sufficiently enough for us to be victorious in those preliminary matches and the final game. Secondly, I want to give credit to the young ladies who were introduced into the lineup, notably Casey Boyles, Aaliyah Weeks, Catherine Bean Rosario, that is the lone Bermudan who was a part of our under-19 setup. We saw the potential in her, and we thought that it was important for us to include her in the senior setup to bring some energy and momentum, particularly in our fielding department, and they were outstanding. In that area, we saw where on the boundary line in particular, they were really important, stopping as far as we were concerned several boundaries because of their athletic ability, and I think that is one of the areas that we improved on going into the tournament. Last year and the years prior, we have had many opportunities to run out, many opportunities to take brilliant catches, and those eluded us. This time around, I think percentage-wise, we were above the percentage that we wanted to, and we saw that, and you know that the idea is catches with matches, and so that was crucial for us throughout the tournament. We took crucial catches when it was necessary. We run out batsmen when it was absolutely necessary. For example, the run out in the finals was crucial to us winning that game in the area that you say you hated so passionately, the Duckworth-Lewis system. We were below par at that stage of the game, but then the run out bought the wicket, and then it changes the whole rhythm of the Duckworth-Lewis, and it puts us 5-6 runs ahead because of the fall of the wicket, and so we thank Mr. Lewis, Duckworth, wherever he is, wherever he's from, but he played an important part, and the team wasn't satisfied with the decision of the umpires. But the thing about the dissatisfaction of the opposing captain and management, the Duckworth-Lewis was a part of the tournament from the very beginning. So at some point, we knew that games may be decided by the Duckworth-Lewis. In addition to that, they were ahead, and they were chanting and cheering. But what happened in the moment that they were chanting and cheering, wickets started falling, and as wicket fell, we know based on the composition of the Duckworth that it can go up or go down, and most of the time it would go in favor of the team that is fielding. We also knew based on communication from locals that there was going to be rain in the evening, and so our decision was we had to bat first, put our target, and then rely on our bowling, because our bowling was again exceptional. We did what we said we were going to do in terms of our planning structure. We wanted to get early wickets in that power play, because part of getting wickets in the power play gives us points as well. And so we knew based on the calculation that it was important for us to do that, and we did that. So that was happening for us throughout the tournament. And so we knew that it was important for us to bat first, put a total, and then go after them with our bowling attack, believing that we would have been successful based on the performance of the girls prior to the final game.
That is interesting. And Duckworth-Lewis, I'm an umpire. I'm a fully qualified umpire. I understand what they're trying to achieve with Duckworth. Simply put, when you go into bat first, you don't have any targets to go at. You have to come up with your own target. You have to decide, well, boy, we want to make 150, 250, or whatever. And so you go at that in your mind. However, when the second team go into bat, they have a target. If you made 153, then now they got to make 154 to win. So there is that target, and the Duckworth-Lewis takes those things into consideration, how much resources you had at one point, how much the other team got. And I think you won a match by Duckworth, and, well, one batting first and one batting second. My problem is, if you make 150, and they're telling me I have to make 183 to win, that is the problem I have. And again, it is because when the interruption come, I had resources, ones I had, etc., etc. So I don't like it. But nonetheless, it is there. Who am I to question it? If all the countries in the big countries in the world, Australia and England, they have a problem with it, who am I to have a problem with it? But a win is a win. And I think more coaches, more admin staff, management, they are paying more attention to the Duckworth-Lewis system, because they know it could determine if they win a championship or they lose, as the case may be. But your ladies from the word go, they won the first match and they were in the lead. They won the second match and they're in the lead and better than weight. They went through the first round, the group stage, with all 5 victories. You mentioned historical, unheard of before. And from the result, some teams may have won the first match, lost the second, and win the third, win the rest of them, and things like that. But your ladies won all 5 matches in the preliminary stage. And then the final, you beat Barbados twice in the preliminary stage and in the final. How difficult was it for you to motivate the team from the word go? We're going to this tournament. We have done well in the past. How difficult or easy as the case may be, was it for you and your team to motivate them, to get them into a place where they were hungry for the game?
Well, the thing is, we had their experienced personnel ladies in the team. We have, I'm going to name just a few. Amanda Edwards, the captain. We have Kiana Joseph, for our present West Indies player. Shanisha Hector, she's also a senior West Indies player, and she has been a part of our setup from the beginning. As a matter of fact, she was once in the initial stage, she was the captain. When we entered the tournament the very first year, Shanisha Hector was the captain, and she continued in that position for several other years. So her position was senior. We also had Winnie's Boyce from Trinidad, and we thought that it was important that in the decision making that we include all of those personnel in our selection of the team, in the decision making, and so the communication from management and the coaching staff was, in essence, discussed with senior players, and so they took that energy from that the management discussion, the plans that we want to how we want to approach the team, because that in our discussion that was discussed. We're playing against Barbados. What is it that we're going to do? How we're going to do it? Who is going to do what? And so they were a part of that planning and discussion, and so they took the information from us, and went to the individual players, and they imparted that information. And we thought that, rather than having it coming from the coaches, it filters from player to player. We thought that is a bridge that we weren't tapping into previously, and so we thought that it was important for us to use that avenue and tap into that resource and have them now communicate that information to the players. And when they get onto the field, it make it easier, because remember that this is what we discussed. If somebody was going out of line, it wouldn't be a situation now where you're shouting from the bench as a coach. Mm-hmm. Remember this or remember that, because everybody wasn't a part of the discussion. Now we have players on the field being a part of the discussion, and we're able to impart and transcend the information that was discussed in terms of team planning. And so the involvement of the senior players in the planning was key to keeping the players motivated. We just decided that one thing that we are saying, we have to stop participate. We have to now compete. And that is exactly what we decided to do, compete rather than participate. So we had that motion going. And so it was, for us, the coaching staff and the management staff, it was easy for us. Like I said, using the senior players to do the communication on the field, that was key. And so it was, I would say, very easy or easier from a management and coaching standpoint to motivate them, because we use their own peers to communicate the information and to make sure that they stay in line. Those who are stepping out would be reminded, or sometimes even reprimanded on the field, because if there's a plan to put a particular fielder in a particular position, you have to make sure that you stay in that position. And if there's a role that you are playing, then, for example, let's suppose you're feeling short mid-wicket and you're not supposed to allow any singles. You can't allow any singles in there. And so that is your role, and so execute your role properly. So for us, it was just to constantly remind them of what it is that they were supposed to do. And we had a word that we were using throughout the tournament: mindset. If your mindset, because we know, for me personally, the mind is what dictates what goes on in physically, what you do, how you behave, is what you're thinking, and so it was rather easy. I should add, because from the first game, all we were doing is reinforcing and reminding of what it is that we need to be doing as a team, and to believe in yourself as a player. I think that was kind of lacking too. Several players, get onto the field and they're not trusting their abilities. They're not trusting their bowling skill. They are questioning themselves. And as a result, if you're questioning yourself while you're bowling, the chances are anything can happen, and mistakes can be made. So the idea is just to believe in what you're capable of. As a matter of fact, one of the players, I used to tell her, listen, oftentimes you run, just bowl the ball, just bowl. Run in and bowl as you're accustomed to do in the nets. When you see a player in a competition, you seems to be thinking that I need to do all sorts of things. But then when we are practicing, that is not your mindset. In the practice, you run in and you bowl the ball, and you're getting it right 9 out of 10 times. So why, when you go into the game, you are changing that plan? So I said to her, no. So whenever she see me, she used to say, bowl the ball, run in and bowl the ball. You understand? So it's just to remind them that sometimes you don't overthink. Just do what is the easiest thing to do, which is run in, remember, and bowl the ball. And sometimes, if you bowl a ball and it's not a good ball, but you get a wicket.
Yes.
Understand? So you have that mindset, I want to bowl a good ball. Yeah, of course you want to bowl a good ball, but bowl a ball.
Bad balls
and bad balls can get wicket. So that is just basically it. But all in all, I think the tournament, for me and the team, it was just for them to believe in themselves, and rather than just participate, we competed. Every single game we competed, and the results showed that on the day, the Leeward Islands were the better team, only because we decided to compete.
At what point did the young ladies feel that, hey, we could win this tournament, we could really win this thing?
Jamaica game, the very first game.
I like that.
The very first game. Because Jamaica has always been a team that inspires us. I realized that over the years. As a matter of fact, Jamaica is one of the teams that we have beaten more times. The only team that we have not hadn't beaten through the time that we have been a part of the competition was Trinidad. Trinidad has always gotten the better hand of us, but for whatever reason, we have had issues with the Jamaicans, and we have been successful against them over the period of time. And so going into that game, playing them, there was this level of confidence that, remember the 50-over tournament in St. Kitts, when they scored over 250 and we were able to win that game, well, miraculously, last, I think 8 wickets. But we did fight, and we showed that we can win. And so there was that momentum, seeing that we're playing against Jamaica, we can win. And after we won the game against Jamaica, it was just to remind, because the energy, for example, even look at when we come to games, the setup, what we would do prior to practice, the warm-up. The warm-up was almost ritual. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. This is the time. And that was ritual throughout. The coaches come, set up the warm-up. Players come out, they do the early stretching, and then we run right into what is routinely our plan. It was like I say, a ritual. That wasn't an issue. So we knew from the coaching standpoint, based on the preparation leading up to the game, in terms of the warm-up. Because sometimes they tell you, as I've heard many commentators and pundits look at, and I'm referring specifically to our West Indies team, look at how we warm up and say, them guys lose. Because the energy that you expect, and you're talking about T20 is constant energy, and you need to be ready even before the game start, and that is the momentum that you would take into a game. And so I thought that, you know, it was the players that find ways and means to motivate themselves, just with the assistance of the management staff and coaching staff to remind them of it. But in essence, they were driven. And I said, like I said, from the start of from the time the Jamaica game, it wasn't an issue to motivate them.
Shakira Selman, West Indies player, went into retirement. She came out perhaps because the Knight twins, Kishona and Kinesha, I think it is, both of them had retired.